Hey guys, what's up? My name is Karis. Welcome to week 4 of Pilates March Madness. If you're wondering if it's the middle of the night, it is for me. It's 8 p.m. But it was too fucking loud here today, so I couldn't do it. And also you should know that I'm going rogue on March Madness. I don't know who the fuck this is supposed to be for, but this shit is fucking hard. So I'm going to tailor today to include some from the final week, and then in the very last class next week, we're gonna fuck some shit up with the heavy, or not heavy, wrong activity. I'm probably gonna sound like I'm drunk as fuck because I'm supposed to be in bed, but I'm a fucking committed person, which I know. Okay, so I'm just gonna go for it. So we're gonna start in a seated position. Your feet are parallel and about sits bone width apart, and you're gonna hold on to the backs of your thighs. Ooh, I'm tight. But I also, not only do I wanna make this more accessible for people, as in not so fucking crazy hard, but also I want you to feel good, and then practice this one, and then we'll fuck shit up next week or whenever you get to it. So I want you to focus on keeping the ball of your foot down, your heel, and lightly squeeze the ball. Hopefully you have one, because it will be very helpful. Hold on to the backs of your thighs and stack those shoulders over your pelvis. Woo! And move like shit. Never mind, sorry, I put that out there. Inhale, I nag my clients about saying shit like that, and then exhale. Just gonna round into the lumbar spine. So not shrugging the shoulders, and then inhale, lead with the nose to restack. Make sure you're not arching your back if you have that kind of mobility in this position. And again, exhale. So I'm allowing my upper back to round, but I'm not shrugging my shoulders up. Inhale, restack. And again, going a little further each time. Inhale, restack. So going into a straight spine here, or long. They're both long, but this is straight, and we're going C curve. Like I said, I'm gonna sound fucking insane. Woo! And it's okay. I think it's good for you to not only see me not be perfect, which I'm far from it, but also just meet your body where it's at. That's what I always say. And we're gonna go a little further if you can. I don't know if I can. And exhale. So I just adjust my feet to where I can keep them flat. Still holding onto the thighs, but not letting the shoulder blades touch the floor. Inhale. See, I'm expanding laterally, and exhale, rounding up. Inhale, straightens. Now we're going to a double breath pattern. Exhale. So we're gonna exhale on the movement. Just allow your pelvis to roll with you, touching the small of your back. Inhale to pause, and I want you to think of a decent inhale, not just people do that shit and then it's really a miracle that they don't pass out. And stack the spine, and again, exhale. Rounding. Inhale at the bottom, try to keep those feet down, and exhale. If you reach a point where you can't keep your feet down, just don't go as far. It's not a contest. No one's grading you. So then, if you feel so inclined, you can release your arms out in front of you with palms facing each other, and then lift your arms up, and then again, lower on the exhale, and round it back. So again, I'm just gonna adjust my feet, and then bring your arms back by your ears, sweep, exhale, rounding up into that C curve, and stack the spine, lower down, and exhale, round. So I'm letting my pelvis roll underneath me, the arms come back, sweep. See, I'm keeping my head, neck, and chest really in the same position throughout, and restack. And one last time, we're gonna park it down there. My arms stay pretty much parallel to the floor. We're gonna bring the arms back, and then sweep around. Ooh. Bring it back, sweep around. It's hard to just come back into this position. And back, and sweep around. Oh, it's gonna suck. One more time, back, and sweep, pause. Exhale. Woo. And then go ahead and take the ball out. Bring the soles of your feet together. And we're gonna get right to it. So, ball goes back between the thighs. I actually want you to put your toes on the edge of your mat if you're using a mat, because we're gonna use that feedback to improve our form, or at least try to. Inhale, so a little tighter than you were in that last position, because we're just gonna roll all the way down to a flat back without plopping, and then you'll bring your heels back so that they're about a hand's distance away from your butt. Feet all the way together, separate your toes, and then separate your heels so they're parallel to each other. Find neutral pelvis, so flat pelvis. Inhale, down into those bottom ribs. Feel them expand into the floor, and then exhale, tucking the pelvis back. But I want you to really focus on keeping the toes heavy on the edge of the mat. Inhale back to neutral without forcing it. So we go back to neutral, but we're not just like completely relaxing here, right? So we're not pushing forward. We're thinking of really starting to get the lower abs in particular engaged. Inhale and exhale. And inhale. Think also of keeping the balls of the big toes down on that edge in particular, because they want to kind of flare out. Inhale, and then we're going to go into the curl. Exhale, rolling back and rolling up just to the bottom of the rib cage, so we don't want to go any higher than that, and really focus on getting a posterior tilt of your pelvis. Also, think about reaching your knees over your toes, so over the edge of that mat. Inhale and exhale. If you can see that I'm not actually on the edge of my mat, I'm lying to you, because then my toes will be out of the frame and it's not going to make sense, or you're not going to see as much. And exhale. So see that my shoulders and my neck don't move at all either. Exhale. Since I have been moving all day, I'm a lot more limber than I might be normally at this time. Well, than I definitely would be at this time. So I'm just trying to roll with it, so to speak. But this morning I did this shit and it was like moving a steel rod. Try to keep those knees pointed over the toes on the way down. Get that like length through the front of the thigh, and then one more time. I feel crooked as fuck, so I'm gonna like bias my weight into my left side because it feels like that's not even touching the floor. So now I feel super crooked, but I mean, if both sides of my back aren't touching the fucking floor, that usually means that I'm crooked then, and it's just reading as normal. I hope that makes sense. I'm just going fucking rogue today, whatever. But I like some of the exercises today, and some of them, I'll wait a week and I'm gonna need to eat something substantial beforehand, so I'm gonna fuck it all to hell. Maybe, you never know. All right, so take that ball out, and actually let's set it at the bottom of the rib cage again. So it's going to put us in a little bit of flexion automatically, which I think feels nice. And you will interlace your fingers behind the back of your head. See how the corners, my elbows are in the corners of my eyes, meaning they're not out here. It's because I actually want to create a basket to support my head. So my thumbs are at the base of my skull, and I really want to try to relax my head into my hands. And all the movement I want to think about happening from my abs, not me pushing myself forward. So let's bring the legs all the way together and just try to find like a little posterior tilt here. In this position, actually, you're going to be more like neutral. And really, we just want to pull the low abs down, not push your low back down. All right, and then let's go ahead and set up. I'm trying to keep my lower back still. It's going to move in response to my upper back, but I'm not like arching my low back purposely. Inhale into those ribs, exhale, nod the chin. Remember, think about using your abs to lift your chest, not like pushing your chin forward. You want to pull those abs tight. Inhale, deepen, and exhale, lower down. So one way that I can stay out of my hip flexors quite a bit, or like my groin, like gripping here, is I try to think about pulling my ankle bones together and then wrapping my thighs around. Inhale and exhale. Okay, right now this whole stretch thing feels fucking amazing. Inhale and deepen. So when I feel my hips grip, I mean, it's really hard to not do that after a long day, but I just try to relax my butt down and reaching back. I know I'm going slower than I usually do, but I have some newcomers and I really want you guys to be able to do Pilates and feel not like it's too much, because some of the shit they have us do, anyway. Exhale. I'm not happy about it. I'm gonna do my own March Madness next month, or year. Inhale, deepen, and then lower down. So we wanna use our abs here, but mainly I use this drill for some mobility of the thoracic spine so that we can get better flexion in the other ab exercises. And go ahead and exhale, lift. So I'm thinking about pulling this lever down from my navel. So basically opposite of what we were doing a moment ago. And then think about trying to lift your chest a little more, drop your butt. So don't lift up your pubic bone. Lift a little more, and then pulse your chest for 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. And lower down with control. Inhale, and then exhale. I'm gonna have to do some fucked up shit though, because it is the end of March Madness, so it should get harder, right? Just do the ones I want to do. So pull those abs down, and then float the right leg up into like a tabletop position, so vertical thigh and the shin parallel to the floor. And you're gonna pull that your sternum towards that thigh, and then extend the leg. And I want you to try not to smush the ball. So try to stay like, just kind of trying not to crush it, imagining it's like an egg or something. And then extend long. Sometimes higher feels better on people's backs, sometimes lower. For me right now, lower feels better. In, long, and then in, and back to tabletop, and then long, reach the leg up, reach down, reach up, reach down, one more time like that, reach up, stabilizing that other side, reach up, reach down, and now flex kick up, point down, flex kick up, point down last time, flex kick up, point down, back to that tabletop, and bring that leg down, right next to the left one, toe, ball, heel, and then reach back. Take a break whenever you need it, and if the ball is too intense where it is, bringing it up your back will make it a little bit easier. Meet your body where it's at, take rest, and know that your neck muscles are like any other muscle. They might be sore later. It shouldn't be anything like severe, but try your best to cradle your head. All right, that's enough rest. Inhale and exhale. Lift head, neck, and chest. Drop that butt. And then you're gonna lift the left leg up into that tabletop position. I want you to make sure that you're not letting the right leg roll out to the side. So imagine you're pushing that right thigh up against a wall. And then I'm gonna tuck the thigh towards my sternum and extend long. And extend long. How you breathe doesn't really matter. Ideally, like on flexion or exertion, the most important thing you do is breathe. Don't hold your breath. And we want long. One more time like that, long. Then rotate the chest to center, extend that leg long, just keep the toe pointed, lower down, and lift up. Think about pressing the heel down here and driving up like you're kicking through water or something. Kicking might be a strong word. And then back down, and then flex kick up, like the paintbrush on the wall in front of you. Fuck that up. Point down, flex kick up, point down, flex kick up. Yeah, this side is just fucking crooked. Whatever. Oh man, I keep fucking that up. It doesn't fucking matter. Just, point and flex and all that shit. Just getting some movement in your feet. I told you, it's gonna be like I'm drunk or something. But it's just wise. It's nothing that fucking, we're not curing cancer out here. Okay, so go ahead and remove the ball. And then we're gonna do the roll up, which we have done since week 1. It's a staple for me anyway. Spoiler alert, it's because I'm good at it physiologically. And that's just kind of like the things that we do. We choose exercises that we enjoy, and we generally enjoy the ones that we're good at, and everybody has their strengths. So you're going to bring your arms back by your ears, just to the point though where you can keep your elbows completely straight. And I fucked this up. I know last time I did landscape, but landscape sucks, man. Like it just takes forever to find a good position. Again, I'm going rogue. So I want you to try to bias into a posterior tilt as much as possible. Obviously your hips are extended. Most of us have very tight hip flexors. So you're not gonna actually be able to go into a posterior tilt. Like that's not a human thing, but I want you to pull your ankle bones together. This is also the one where if you use like a dumbbell or a light plate, like 5 to 8 pounds, it will actually help you. So arms go back, biceps by the ears if you can without the ribs popping up. And inhale up into chest lift and exhale. So the chest lift exercise we did a moment ago helps you get the movement to really access your abs here. So toes are pointed, and I want you to stack your shoulders over your pelvis, not reach forward or shrug, and then roll through the spine. So I'm thinking about actually trying to reach my chest forward while my lower back rolls down and extend back. I'm thinking of actively pressing my hamstrings into the floor. Inhale, exhale. So what is my physiological advantage here? I have big legs and they anchor me to the floor. I mean, it's all relative, right? It's also pantsing me a little bit, which it does. Fuck landscape for real. I'm not doing that shit anymore. And exhale. Taking a stand. Sorry if that sucks. And also sorry if you see my butt crack. Exhale. The roll up is kind of a famous flasher. And then one last time. I'm shifting all over the place. I probably should do landscape because then I wouldn't be such a little bitch. Losing my pants. Okay, so bring the soles of your feet together. Okay, so one of the exercises for week 4 is leg pull back, and I like it. It's like a reverse plank. So ideally what we want is the fingers pointed in this way, right? Because we want fully extended elbows so we can flex the triceps, so the heels of the hands. The tighter you are, the more you might need to have your hands out like this. Just remember, tight means weak, so what we want to do is eventually get to the position like this and just gradually build it up. Don't just be like, I have weak wrists, and then let them be weak. They hurt because they're weak. I'm crappy. So, hands are here, and you're gonna lengthen the heels of your hands into the floor as much as you can, and your toes are pointed. So, we're gonna try to bias into a posterior tilt of your pelvis at the top, while keeping your knees straight and rolling the shoulders open. Also, we're gonna try to get the toes to touch the mat. So, hang on, let me adjust, because now I just hate it. I'm probably not gonna cut this either, but it's part of my charm. What the fuck is she gonna say now? So, fingers pointed in, long, not rolling out, no pigeon toe. Inhale, prepare, no, I'll mix up. And exhale. So I'm trying to touch the tips of my toes down, and I'm not hanging my head. I'm keeping it in line with the rest of my spine and hinge back down to start position. Staying long through those triceps. And last one. And then down all the way. Roll the wrists out. Okay, so actually the exercise with March Madness is kind of fucked up. I'm telling you, they really fucking went overboard here. Maybe I should just do math more with it, whatever. So if that was challenging enough for you, meaning from like you had a hard time getting your feet on the floor, it was just kind of hard in general to hold your body up in that position. It's a lot of shoulder mobility stuff too, right? Then you can just keep it there. Otherwise, we're doing leg pulled back, which is pretty much exactly what it sounds like, literally. So you're gonna come up into that plank and then lift one of the legs. Similar to what we did a moment ago, which was actually kind of a warm up for this. Except I was fucking up my left leg. It doesn't matter. Just do the best you can and remember to breathe and don't fuck yourself up trying to do more than your body wants to do. Okay, so getting into this position. Fucking scared, man. And then, why does it feel so weird? And then lift your body up. One leg first. Try to keep that other leg stable and down, hinge. I'm gonna rest for a second. Ooh, my hammy's pissed. Let's do our best. That was a reminder to me. And then again, you're gonna lift up. Ooh, I don't know. Ooh, my right side does not like that. And that's, I mean, it zinged me, so I'm not gonna like fucking work through it. But that's often the case with this exercise. My right side can't really support me up enough. If you just did 3 reps, good for you. But things like that, where you feel my hamstring was like, you better not, bitch. I'm gonna heed that warning, hamstring. I was a fool to think that at this time of day when I'm hungry and thirsty, that was a good idea, but you know what? I tried my best. So come on to the front of the mat again. Oh, actually, I'm sorry, we're gonna do saw. It's another one that I kind of like. But yeah, my hamstrings are just like really locked up lately, my calves too, more so than usual. I don't know why, but it means that I'm not gonna, use my right hamstring to hold my entire body weight up. So, legs are a little wider than mat width, feet are flexed back, and you're stacking your spine up. So we want to think of like a string on top of the head, and we want to think about lengthening the backs and knees into the floor. So with saw, it's a thoracic rotation, which means this should not happen. Everything below your ribcage stays still. You rotate, turn the back arm in, so thumb down, cross over and try to saw off the pinky toe. Restack, turning this hand back to center, and then come back. So don't drive yourself crazy over like the hand choreography and stuff. Just try to do your best. Sensing a theme? So here, stacking up tall, I'm going to start by going to the left. So rotate. Woo! Rotate that back hand saw off the pinky toe. Restack in the rotation, come back to center. Restack and center. Inhale, rotate. Exhale, saw. Inhale and rotate. Woo, hip flexors. Other side. And center. One more set. Why the fuck not? Restack and center. If you're like, damn, I'm really limited on one side. Exactly. Everybody is. Damn. Good for you if you got through that. Okay, so we're gonna we did single leg stretch and double leg stretch. They put double leg stretch before, or they put single leg stretch first. That's not how I like to do it. But I wanna do the rollover first, which can be a little spooky for people if you're not used to having your legs over your head. If you're not used to that, just fucking work up to it. We're gonna be rolling like a ball first because that's a great option. And then if you saw last week's class, I had a roller propped under my butt to practice bringing my legs back and articulating down. Please go back to that workout if you wanna check it out. I don't have the literal strength or emotional strength to do it right now. Just don't have much left in me. Okay, so hold on towards the ankles. The higher your hands are, the easier it will be, the bigger the circle, but you don't want to kick your legs around. Breathing is very key with this one, so I'm going to shut the fuck up. Inhale. And so I'm not like head banging. That same motion I had you basically start the class with, that's what we're trying to do. We're trying to pull ourselves back. Last one. With our lower abdominals, and then soles of the feet together. I'm trying to think what I did to piss my hamstrings off. I bet it's like hours and hours of exercise demo shit, if I were to guess. It's hard on the old body. If you're like, damn, I really want a six-pack, I'm gonna tell you, no you don't. Because it sucks. This is your life. And who gives a fuck? Seriously, who gives a fuck? It's nice when your life sucks like mine does, meaning like my social life and stuff. Because then it's like, ooh, nice. But really, other than that, who the fuck cares? I'm not drunk. I am tired. You'd know if I was drunk. First of all, I wouldn't be moving well at all. Okay. I was trying to roll back like gracefully. Yeah, that didn't happen. I'm gonna go slow with the rollover. I'm not gonna go quite as slow as I have done the past like week 1 and week 2, or whatever the fuck, because people get gassed. I get gassed by the time I'm doing the full rollover. So we're just gonna go right into the whole shebang, and modify how you need to. And don't turn your head to look at your phone or whatever when you're up on your neck. And don't force it. It's a lot of stern talking tos. Okay, so I am going to lift my legs into tabletop simultaneously. If you tend to have a tighter lower back, I would say do one at a time. But like I said earlier, like length is feeling good in my legs right now, and you should modify it to your needs. So inhale, I'm gonna tuck a little bit. Exhale, pull the legs up to tabletop. Extend those legs. Inhale, roll back. Woo-hoo-hoo-hoo. Flex those feet. Ooh, come on, Hammy. Separate, tap, hey, and roll down. I don't know if you can see that delay. Oh, fuck, I'm out of the shot again. I know how important it is for you guys to see my big toes. Obviously, so I'm gonna shut the fuck up. We're doing 3 of these. Triceps and lats. So number 2, extend. Start bringing the legs up and tucking the pelvis simultaneously. Separate, tap, and point, circle, roll as you bring those legs back, and flex, open, tap, and roll down. So I know, come all the way back down, circle, and then bend the knees in and hug the knees to your chest. From just like years and years of dealing with stuff like this in my leg, it feels like hamstring, but it's more like sciatic nerve. So does that mean it's back, piriformis? I don't know, but that's just like, it's been like this since I was a high school student, which was a long time ago, and my feet would go numb when I was a cross-country runner. A terrible cross-country runner, but cross-country runner nonetheless. And so it's something that's just happened my whole life. And when I sit a lot, especially, I'll get this like zing through my hamstring. I mention it because it happens to a lot of people, and a lot of people assume that their hamstrings are tight, but it's actually the worst thing you can do is stretch the nerve. So I don't need to explain why that was different, even though it's like a lot of the hamstring. Well, I will, because really what we're doing is moving the spine or extracting the spine off of your poor fucking pelvis. Okay, we're gonna do one challenging exercise because I really like it, called control balance. And also I kinda wanna preview it to you guys because it looks fucking crazy, but it's not as bad as it looks, meaning that it's way more doable. So I'm showing you this week, and it is actually on this week so that you can try it, practice. And then maybe next week when we do the very last one, you might actually find that you like it. This is the one I bust out when I'm trying to be impressive, when I know also like it's not that big a deal. At least for someone with my posture. Okay, so if you like the rollover okay, you can do that again. Watch me first before you do it. You're basically coming back into a rollover and just dropping your toes down, bringing one arm at a time to hold onto your feet, keeping your big toes on the ground, and then one leg is gonna come up, kick, kick, so hip extension, and then come down and you're holding onto the sides of your feet. Fine, I'll do landscape next time, Jesus Christ. Okay, and then we're doing the double leg stretch, single leg stretch, some side work, and I will let you go. Okay, so use those abs, well, low abs, and then just like the rollover. And if the rollover is not good for you, rolling like a ball is fine, or you can just take some time to yourself. So just like the rollover, extend long, and then start peeling the spine off as soon as those legs come back. And then those big toes are gonna come down onto the ground, and you'll sweep your arms around. So make sure that bottom leg stays down. Pulse, pulse, straight knee, hold on to the side of the foot. Woo. So I bent my knee there. You're not really supposed to do that. But in the beginning, it's been a while since I've done this. Pulse, 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 pulse. Last one. Hey, thank you, left side. Pulse, pulse. And then you're just gonna bring the left side all the way down. One arm down, and then the other. Hover those feet. So I actually, oh, damn it, I just did what I told you not to do. Technically, I wasn't on my neck though. That's one that my body really likes because that length through my SI joint, again, like it pulls, I don't want to say pulls, it lengthens my spine in a really helpful way for me because I'm very, very arched and tight in my lower back. So over time, right, like working towards having that kind of mobility in my back that allows my legs to go here, it's like basically traction. And also the more that I work like my rectus abdominis, so my six-pack muscle, things that bring me like into flexion, my back really likes that. Not everybody's does. My back really doesn't like extension, the opposite. And some people's much prefer that. Again, my point is you have to just kind of like get acquainted with your body and try to get better at the things you hate. Even though this entire class is basically me saying, fuck March Madness, I'm doing what I want. Whatever. Okay, so double leg stretch, single leg stretch, and then crisscross, which we haven't done, but it was very similar to what we did earlier. And it's basically bicycle crunch that you see in the gym, only not stupid and done terribly. I do these usually 5 reps each. It sucks because your chest is up the whole time. If you need to support your head, that's fine. If you need to take a rest, it's fine. If you know that 5 is going to be a lot, aim to do 3 of each to start. Rest while I'm fucking around. And then work up to 5. But it's always quality over quantity. So, bring those legs up to tabletop. So, 90 degrees. And then I'm going to actually have you hold them in a little deeper. So we're going rogue here too, because this isn't Bassie's style. Bassie's the Pilates I do. So your hands are going to go on top of your knees, and I want you to think pressing down, not hugging in tight. And I don't want you to let your thighs collapse. You're pulling those low abs in. And then extend arms and legs long. Sweep back in, use your lats. Out, stretch long. Out, stretch long, there's 3. Here's 4. Here's 5. Going right into single leg stretch. Extend that one leg long, and again, you're pressing on this leg, and switch. The toes pass each other on a horizontal line. And 3. And 3. Use those low abs, and 4. And 4, long through the knee, and 5. And 5. And then come back to that right leg bent, left leg extended. Hover the leg out so that it's at tabletop, not tucked in. Opposite leg will lift up to match the toes. Hands behind the back of the head. I know this sucks. Sternum to that thigh and switch. So your lower back stays still. Your shoulder blades stay off the mat. Here's 2 and 2. 1 and 1. Ah! Literally never gets easier. All right, we're gonna do Sidekick and side bend, which are, I think, oh yeah, side bend is next week, but I like it, so we're gonna do it. So yeah, this is just the car special, because what the fuck. So, the one that is on there, I always like to do a side lift first to get my obliques fired up, and we haven't done any of this like lateral stuff yet for Matt. I like the ball for this a lot because shock of shocks, people compensate like a motherfucker. Some women have a bone that protrudes or their bones protrude. Either they're very thin or it's just the way that they're shaped. If this laying in this position hurts you, you can try rolling up the mat or even using like a second mat because you'll need more padding. But note too that Pilates mats are traditionally thicker anyway. And it's very common, it happens a lot with the tailbone as well. So there's nothing wrong with you. You just need to like not dig your bone into the floor, which seems pretty cut and dry. So the ball is going to go between your ankle bones, and then your legs are going to come towards the front corner of the mat, so that when you lie on your side, and damn you landscape, or whatever. So this palm is up, even though you can't fucking see me. I feel like it's gonna be really funny to watch later, for me anyway. Maybe not for you, maybe it's, who's watching at this point is really what I wanna know. So see how my left hip wants to kind of do that? So my left lower back, the left side of my lower back is gonna be pulling me that way. So I'm really gonna make an effort to like fuse my armpit to the floor, my palm to the floor, and then we lift the ribs away from the floor. That's called the house for the mouse. Technical, I know I say that joke all the time. But see how when I drop my ribs, my legs are no longer even? So lifting that space up makes my obliques work actively, but it also stacks my hips. Ooh, I feel like I'm really gonna suck at this today. So traditionally it's done like this. I already can feel that that's just not gonna happen for me, and that's fine, I don't care. Actually, flip the bottom hand up. Yeah, flip the bottom hand up. There we go. See, it's good review for me. So I don't want you to like go pigeon-toed, right? I want you to think about trying to squeeze your ankle bones together here. So the modification, what I'm doing is hand pressed here. All right, so inhale, and then exhale, think about laterally flexing, ooh, so that your legs lift up without going back or forward. If you go forward, that's your hip flexor taking over. So you're trying to just lift from here, and you'll feel the house for the mouse go away. Oh, look at me, going back with my legs. Your body's gonna find a way to do what it wants, so the awareness just comes over time. All right, let's do this. Exhale. Gotta eat this. So I want my upper body, my torso rather, to be straight. I'm checking myself. This shit's hard. We don't do a ton of lateral flexion, really ever. We meaning all of us. Why is this arm being fucking weird? And one more. And then down. So I think the hardest thing for people to accept in Pilates, and honestly in weight training, is actually how small the movements are. We always want to make this huge range of motion, but the fact of the matter is most people do not actually own that range of motion, and that means even very flexible people. In fact, I would say mostly flexible people. They just have the ability to like crank on their joints or whatever. I'm not saying all, but in Pilates, and why it's so good for dancers, contortionists, shit like that, people who are really flexible, is that it teaches you how to have a range within that flexibility that you can control, so that you're not just hanging in your ligaments and a walking hip replacement waiting to happen. All right, so Sidekick was basically what we were just prepping for. So you're gonna be on your forearm. This is level 1. Same thing, right? If I let this sag, you see how my feet aren't the same length? Your legs are gonna be underneath you here. But you're gonna lift up this way, pull your ribs away from the floor so that your legs are the same length. And so, level 1's right here. Level 2, you're gonna be on your elbow. And so it's a lot easier to drop the rib that way. So you kind of have to find that sweet spot where you can prop yourself up. Level 2 is here, level 3 is here. And here we are tapping the back of the head. So we're just trying to like keep the thoracic spine open here. Damn, this is hard today. Hopefully this is just my not strong feeling side. All right, hover that top leg up without collapsing in the ribs. Flex the foot. I won't fuck it up this time. Flex, flex, and point, point. So this is a pelvic lumbar stability, meaning I don't want to arch my back, so stick my chest out, or collapse when my leg goes forward. Some swaying, point, point. I'm gonna finish this shit. Last one, and point, point. Now hold it there, extend that top arm up, reach that back leg, and circle 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Switch directions, 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5. Go ahead and press yourself up. Let's do a little 90-90 action, but start with your feet out in front of you and like wide, and then roll to the side. So hands should be on either side of the knee, and you're pressing yourself up, not collapsing. God damn it. Sidekick's fucking hard. It's been a while since I've done that shit. That's the good thing about March Madness. I won't only choose things that I like, but you guys gotta know the shit that's coming next week is fucked up. It's fucked up. I know if I was good at it, I'd be like, we're gonna do it, because we did push up and that's also master level, but whatever. So we're gonna do side bend, and again, it's because I like it, but also to desensitize you for when we do it next week, because man, I remember when I first learned this in my teacher training and how fucking terrible I was at it, and now I love it so much. Well, might be famous last words since my body's like pretty annoyed with me right now, but I get it. So this arm is gonna be out at an angle, and just like that leg kick back, we are fanning out the hand, and we wanna make sure that we're in the tricep. So if you collapse, that's often when it gets into your wrist, but mobility is also an issue. So if you know that you have weak wrists, I fucking hate that expression, you can roll your mat up and kind of prop the heel of your hand up. And again, you're not gonna be able to do a ton of reps right out the gate. If you can do 1 or 2, great. Do it well, and don't just like hurt your wrist by going beyond what your body can tolerate right now. Okay, so you're at an angle, and your top ankle is crossed over your bottom ankle. And again, pulling the ribs away from the floor. This hand is kind of away from you because we're gonna go that way. But I don't want you to push off your legs. I want you to imagine like someone just pulling you up this way. It's really hard to not use my legs. All right, this arm hovers. Inhale, prepare, exhale. I'm gonna adjust my legs. I can feel myself when I use my quads. So rotate that palm towards the wall behind you, and then you're gonna arc up and over without that arm crossing your face. Look down at your hand, come up to a T, and then back down. I'm gonna bring this arm in. It was too much. There we go. So now see that my wrist is under my shoulder. Rotate that hand, arc up and over, back to a T. Try to go straight down. Just 3, last one. Arc up and over, back to a T, and then down all the way. Go ahead and roll out that wrist. I know it's a longer one, but the other's been 30 minutes for fuck's sake. It's good actually a complete workout for once. Well, for once. It's hard shit in the other one. So let's switch sides. Sorry for the cross shot, or not. And we're gonna start with side lift. So again, the ball's gonna go in between the ankle bones rather. Yep, still can't see me. So this palm is up, your head is on your bicep, there we go. And then you're in kind of like a banana shape, so your toes go towards the front of the mat. I was hoping this would be my side. It was like, you know, you always have one side that's uncooperative, let's say. I thought that was the last side. I don't think so. All right, so get that length, get the house for the mouse. And I feel that this side wants to do the same thing. My back is just tight. That's fucking just the way it is right now. It doesn't mean anything's wrong. All right, so inhale, prepare. Exhale. Oh yeah, this is, because I feel my head wanting to lift to kind of like counterweight it. So I'm gonna press my body lightly into the floor. There we go. So that I'm really using my obliques here. And I feel my legs again creeping back behind me. So it's the same thing I was talking about with the hip, only it's faking you out. Don't fall for it. Lightly press into the floor as you exhale. Stay there and down. That was to myself again. I feel all sorts of muscles, my quads and stuff, trying to do it for me. It's not ideal, but I'm just weak in this movement right now. Just gonna do the best I can, because sometimes you just need to get stronger. Oh yeah, besides fuck, you're doing great. I try not to talk negatively about my body because it fucking hears you, and no matter how much you hate about how it looks or whatever the fuck, it probably does a lot of shit for you and tolerates a lot of shit. So you're doing great. I'm sorry I'm a bad owner. Sidekick, once again. So again, level 1, you're kind of like in a forearm plank, just very dissatisfied with portrait. So fine, next time. So here, make sure the elbow's under your shoulder, what I was cueing you with the side bend, and pull those ribs away. So now we want the legs underneath you. Level 2, you're gonna be up on that elbow. Again, propping up. And then level 3 is here. You just kind of have to find the right place. Okay, so point the toes. I'm just gonna breathe this time so I don't fuck us all to hell. Whoop, look at that top hip rolling back. You silly, silly top hip. Okay, hover that leg up. And then flex the foot and kick, kick. And point, point. Trying to keep that leg parallel to the floor and point, point. Really try to use those obliques. And point, point, reach it back without letting that hip go with you. Reach that top arm, cross over, and circle the leg 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Try to relax your quad and think about just like dead weight, switching directions, 3, 2, and 1. When you realize how much you flex your quads, especially unnecessarily, you'll figure out why they're so tight. And that does not mean strong. It just means that they do a lot of jobs that they don't need to do, and therefore they are fatigued when you need them, hence back and knee injuries. I know that made a big jump there, but you're gonna have to take my word for it. Okay, side bend on this side. We're gonna do 1 back extension exercise, and then we're done. So, again, oh, that's good actually, you can see a different angle here. So, I had to come down and readjust. I don't do a lot of mat anymore, especially not like the harder stuff. So I misjudged like where my arm needs to be. I don't just like grit my teeth and get through it. I adjust mid-set because it's more important to do it the right way. You always want to finish on a high note with any movement. If you let your form get sloppy, you're essentially teaching your body to do that. That's what I did with bench press. Okay, so pull the ribs away from the floor, get that tricep, corkscrew that arm, hover, and teeter-totter. Rotate that palm, arc up and over, and then back to a T, and then lower down. I feel like I need to move this in a little bit. Rotate, arc up and over, back to a T, and down. Last one, think moving straight up, not pushing out. Arc up and over, back to a T, and then lower down. I know I'm talking a bunch of shit about why I'm doing it at night, but it's really interesting to see how you move differently at different times of the day. And I bet I'm gonna sleep like a baby because I'm actually letting my poor body move a little bit. So go ahead and bring the legs out in front of you. I'm gonna do that 90-90 again. Which way did we go last time? I think we went that way. I don't fucking know. Just make sure you're even. Oh yeah, we went the other way because this is the side where I'm like the letter Z. Again, it doesn't mean anything. It's just noticing different things about your body. So when I do stuff like this before lifting, for example, I know that I'm usually a lot tighter on this side, right? Or rotating like to my right because my left side is tighter. It's totally normal. We all have a dominant side, even people who are ambidextrous. Feel how the quad wants to tense? You poor, poor quad. I'm such a jerk to it, but we're getting better. Remember not to sag. Try to keep your hips as square as you can. If there's one thing that you should do every single day, it's 90-90. You should ask me if I do 90-90 every day. I don't. So I teach Pilates because it's the only way that I'll actually ever do this shit, other than demonstrating it for my clients. Oh, that's right, I was doing back extension. God damn it. So we're just gonna do double leg kick again because I like it. But it's like 9 o'clock, you guys, and this is like the middle of the night for me, big time. Committed to following through on this shit. So, I'll shut the fuck up so we can get the fuck out of here. Turn one cheek onto the mat. And then, I'm having second thoughts, but we're just gonna commit. So I want you to try not to compress your neck. See how mine was a second ago? And if this is really difficult for you, like elevate your head with the ball. And I might even have to like elevate your chest with the ball. Fuck it, I'll show you the modification later. So interlace your fingers behind your back and then bring, the tops of your arms down to the floor. Like, fuck man, I'm super tight. But again, it's good. So ankle bones together. So I really want to be pigeon-toed right now because I'm tired. Keep the ankle bones together, and I'm pressing the tops of my feet down to the floor, and see how that made my knees lift up off the floor. So I'm pulling my kneecaps into my quads and tucking my pelvis without shrugging, which I don't know if you saw that like immediately. So pubic bone into the mat. Okay, so then you're gonna bend your knees. Don't let your knees separate, and then press your pubic bone down even more so that your knees are hovered, and then 3 quick little kicks. Extend, thumbs to bum, hover, fold into the other side. So try not to let your body flop around when you do those little kicks. Kick, 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 extend, thumbs to bum. Why does my hair smell good? This is suspicious. And lift those knees, kick, kick, kick. Holy fuck, I'm tight. Just FYI. Other side, knees, kick, 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 extend, and lower yourself down. It was fucking miserable. That's just me. I tripped over the fucking reformer yesterday on my knee, so if I'm moving funny, that's probably why my knee was, no, that's a lie. I've just always been that knee when I do control balance. I was gonna try to blame the reformer, but I would be a liar. Okay, so we are doing leg pull front, which we have also done before. It's part of week 4 though, so it's a legitimate thing that I like. And then we're done. So that's in a plank position. I know it's a lot on the wrist. I have to admit, I think this could have been done better. There, I said it. Whoever came up with March Madness, please don't fucking like have me killed by the Pilates mafia or whatever the fuck. Yeah, I think that's a good position. All right, so hands are underneath your shoulders. I swear I'm not drunk. And then flex your triceps, corkscrew those arms into the floor, and protract your scapula. That's the thing that's the hardest for people in planks, push-ups, and all that. Push-ups are next week. I'm showing restraint even though we already did it, but we gotta get the fuck out of here, people. Okay, lengthen, and then one foot back, and then the other. So I want you to take a peek at your feet and make sure that you're on the balls of your feet, not like your tippy toes, and that you're not kicking your ankles out to the side. And then adjust your hands wherever they might need to be. So I'm gonna try to stick my chest out more. A lot of people are gonna need to protract more, but I don't want you shrugging. Tuck the pelvis. I know this sucks, but we gotta get planks right. Hover your right leg up with a straight knee without kicking back. Down, down, straight knee. Last one. Sorry, I lied, one more. I miscounted. I count like shit. All right, other side. Long. This is again the side that wants to bend, and I know that, so I have to get my shit together. Last one. I think that was 5. If it wasn't, whatever. And then kick the hips up. God, that sucked. Pretty much the whole thing, huh? Whatever. Walk your hands to your feet. I'm glad I did it though, because I needed this shit. And then roll up one vertebra at a time. So we're gonna do the roll down, which we usually start class with. Just so you can see me. All right, so feet parallel, fist distance apart. Stand up tall. Fingertips reaching down to the side of the heels. Make sure you're neutral pelvis. So don't spill the bucket and don't poke your ribs out, and keep your earlobes over your shoulders. Inhale and exhale. So we're letting the knees bend. I can tell you I probably wouldn't have been able to do this like when we started. Try not to let your shoulders flop, which I totally let mine. It's a subtle difference, but it's different. The spine and the shoulders are not the same fucking thing. And exhale. See how I'm not sitting my hips back, so my weight's in my toes, my eyes are on my knees, thighs-ish, and exhale. Definitely still really tight in that sciatic area that I mentioned, and just remember I'm not a fucking doctor, so if you're like, damn, I have that, it's my sciatic nerve or whatever, we don't know that. I'm just saying this is something I've dealt with, and it's food for thought, as always. I'll see you next week for our last March Madness, and mark my words, man, we're gonna do it. We're gonna do every single fucking exercise there, so make sure you carb up, and I won't do it at 9 o'clock at night. See you guys then.